Yo, yo, yo! Welcome back to the show where we unpack the real deal, from politics to pop culture and everything in between. Today we're diving deep into a topic that's got everyone talking: protests at the Olympics. Remember those powerful images from Mexico City in '68? Tommy Smith and John Carlos, fists raised in a Black Power salute? Or how about the recent Tokyo Games, where athletes took a knee for racial justice? And let's not forget the Indigenous Australians protesting colonisation during the Sydney 2000 Games. Fast forward to today, Paris 2024 is already facing calls for boycotts over France's stance on environmental issues. From human rights to political injustices, the Olympics have become a global platform for dissent. But why do people choose this grand stage to make their voices heard? Let's break it down. The Olympics, my friends, are not just about sports. They're a massive global spectacle with billions of eyes glued to their screens. Think about it. Athletes train their entire lives for this moment. Countries pour resources into hosting. It's a high-stakes, high-visibility event, and that's exactly what makes it the perfect platform for protest. When someone stages a protest at the Olympics, they're guaranteed a global audience. It's like dropping a truth bomb in the middle of a carefully choreographed dance routine. Suddenly everyone's paying attention, and the powers that be can't just sweep it under the rug. The Olympics become a megaphone, amplifying voices that might otherwise be silenced, and that, my friends, is powerful stuff. But do these protests actually work? Do they really spark change? Well, it's not always a straight line from protest to progress. Sometimes the impact is immediate. Take the 1980 Moscow Olympics, for example. The US-led boycott over the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan sent a clear message of condemnation to the world. Other times it's a slow burn. The protests at the Mexico City Olympics in 1968, which we'll get into more detail later, helped fuel the civil rights movement and sparked conversations about racial inequality that continue to this day. One thing's for sure, these protests force us to confront uncomfortable truths. They challenge the status quo and make us question the systems that perpetuate injustice. And that in itself is a step towards progress. Of course, not everyone agrees with protests at the Olympics. Some argue that it disrespects the spirit of the Games, that it politicizes what should be a celebration of sport. Athletes dedicate their lives to competing at this level, and some argue that protests distract from their achievements. Sports analyst. Then there are those who believe the Olympics provide a unique platform for athletes to raise awareness about critical issues. They argue that remaining silent in the face of injustice is not an option. And let's not forget the viewers. Millions around the world are glued to their screens, witnessing these acts of defiance. It sparks conversations, challenges perspectives, and forces us to confront our own biases. And that, my friends, is the power of dialogue.
To truly understand the impact of protests at the Olympics, we need to rewind back to 1968. Mexico City was supposed to be a celebration, the first games held in Latin America. But beneath the surface, tensions were simmering.
Just days before the Games began, student protests erupted, demanding social justice and political reform. The Mexican government responded with brutal force, culminating in the Tlatelolco massacre. Hundreds of unarmed civilians, mostly students, were killed by government forces.
Against this backdrop of violence and oppression, two American athletes, Tommy Smith and John Carlos, made history. After winning gold and bronze in the 200-meter race, they raised their fists in a Black Power salute during the medal ceremony.
The image of their silent protest, heads bowed, fists raised, became a defining moment in Olympic history. It was a powerful statement against racism and discrimination, forever linking the Mexico City Games with the struggle for social justice. The Olympics have also become a platform for protests that extend beyond the host country's borders. Remember the 1976 Montreal Games, when 28 African nations boycotted in protest of apartheid in South Africa? Or how about the 1980 Moscow Olympics, when the US led a boycott over the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan? These events highlight the interconnectedness of global issues and the power of collective action. The Olympics in these instances transcended sports, becoming a stage for nations to take a stand against injustice on a global scale. From Mexico City to Tokyo and beyond, protests at the Olympics have challenged our conscience, sparked dialogue, and pushed for progress. These acts of defiance remind us that the Games are not just about athletic achievement. They are a reflection of our world, with all its complexities and contradictions. So, the next time you watch the Olympics, remember that the athletes are not just competing for medals. They're competing for our attention. They're using their platform to shine a light on injustice and inspire change. And that, my friends, is something worth fighting for. And that's our show for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more deep dives into the issues that matter. Peace out.